Welcome to another edition of That Green Vegans podcast. I'm Kelly. Hey. So, by the title of this podcast, it's I'm Better Than You. And you might be thinking like, oh, well, that's rude. No, it's not rude. It's true. But this is the attitude that you should have for yourself. You should feel like, yeah, I'm better than you, because the thing is sometimes and if you keep that mentality in your head, you're not going to just settle for anything, right? So, me, sometimes I piggyback on like past episodes, like the breadcrumbing and scarcity and all the kind of stuff. Like it's a build up. It's really a build up, and it's to give you advice, and it's to give you a foundation, a strong foundation to like build your life upon, whatever, right? So it's so funny. Like literally, this happened so long ago, like 11 years ago. Okay, so just go back 11 years ago. So at the time, I had my own business and I had to make copies. So I'm walking, and I hear, excuse me. So I look, and there's these two guys in the front seat of the car, and they're just looking. And then I hear, excuse me, but nothing's coming out their mouth. And then I look in the back, and there's a guy in the back seat, but it was like the car wasn't a four-seater. It was it was a two-door car. So he had to kind of like stick his little head out, and he's like, excuse me. So I walked up to him, whatever, and I said, hi. And then he said, what's your name? I told him my name, blah, 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 blah. And so he's like, can I give you my number? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way somewhere right now, though. And then he was like, okay, here, take my number. So I took his number. So I called him that night, I think after everything was happening. And he seemed to be kind of cool, whatever. And he was like, yeah, I seen you. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah. And so we was talking. He's like, I'd like to take you out on a date. I was like, oh, okay. He said, maybe we go to like maybe movies, get something to eat. I said, okay, cool. So let me just tell you about my situation at the time. So in situation at the time, and I shared this on my, I went through a divorce. Now, I was married for 15 years and I didn't date. I didn't really like date. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was rusty. I was rusty because even after I got out of my divorce, then I got into another relationship that lasted about 7 years, right? So, you can count on one hand all the relationships I had my whole life, one hand, and so I was always used to be with somebody, right? I always was in like serious full-term relationship, whatever. And this was like a season in my life where I was like single, like, dang, I'm not seeing nobody. I didn't know what it was, and they say the dating pool is full of piss. I'll put that on the back burner. So anyway, this guy, he was like, okay, yeah, let's go out, da da da. So then, fast forward, he wanted to invite me to this place, but I was busy. And then he was like, oh, whoa. I think it was like a family thing. I'm like, whoa. Thinking to myself, like, I don't even know you for real, and you want me to come to like a family function? Like, I'm good. Like, let's just stick to the movie and, dinner. And so, I can't believe I'm telling this story. So he goes, well, do you mind driving? And I was like, yeah, I don't have a problem driving, whatever. So, he gives me his address, whatever. And, I think it was the following Saturday or something. I go to his house. I give my aunt his address, because, hey, you got to take precautions. That's the thing. I should do if you're dating, like, precautions, whatever, right? Always tell somebody where you going. Always give somebody your address, right? When you go on somewhere, that way they know the last place you was been. Anyway, so I go to this guy's house. The neighborhood was decent. You know what I'm saying? It was decent. So, I drive up and in front of his house, whatever. So I called him. I was like, hey, I'm here. He said, well, come on inside. I said, okay. So I go to the door and he opens the door and I look down. He's literally like, I'm 5'8", right? I'm 5'8" on a good day. This guy was like 5'3", which I'm not judging. But he little. He's short, he little. I'm like, but see, remember when I met him, he was in the back of a car. So I didn't get to really see how tall he was, But you know what? I'm not shallow. So I was like, okay, well, let me just give this dude a chance, whatever. So I come to his house. The house, it's not his house. This is his mama house. You can tell it's a mama house. There's, plastic on the couch, jet magazines, curtains with corn on it, that kind of stuff. So I'm like looking around. So the mom comes out and she goes, oh, was I vegan back then? No, I was not vegan back then. She goes, so where you guys going? I said, oh, we're going to the movies and we're going to, probably get something to eat, whatever. She's like, oh, that's nice. So she was like, so let me tell you something. Mamas, they love me. I have never had a mother who just did not love me, right? 'Cause I know how to talk to people. I talked to said this back in the day. The ologies, I'm on point. Psychology, sociology, anthropology, all of the ologies, I'm just like on point, right? So I know how to talk to people. I know like when you meet someone, you say their name, and during the conversation, you use their name multiple times. They love it, right? Because there's nothing better than hearing somebody's name. But that's a little tip. You could just keep that in your back pocket. So we're having this really nice conversation. I don't know what he's doing. But he's taking hella long, right? So anyway, he comes back. When he comes out, he goes, you ready? I'm like, yeah. So we go outside and I'm thinking, okay, there's no other car. It's one car in the driveway. He goes, this is my car. It was like an old school car, like a like a Cadillac or something, right? I don't know. It was an old school car. And you can tell like it was on flat. All four tires was flat, and you could see like the spider webs. And he's like, yeah, I'm in the process of fixing it up. Child. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So we get in my car, and he goes, wow, this is nice. I'm like, yeah, your girl always makes sure my whip is clean. So anyway, we go to this movie, right? And this movie is it's kind of low-key boring. It's the movie with I forgot the actor. I like him though, but he gives I guess he wants to pay for a trip for his parents, right? So he gives his gook. I should do that. He gives he's donating his sperm, right? So, but he donates so much of it that he can pay a trip for his parents to Europe, whatever. So they take his sperm and they, whatever. And I guess he ended up like with, I don't know, 20 kids. I'm just making a number up. 20 kids. And so they all trace him down like later in life. This is what the movie was about, right? It was it was cute, it was corny, it was dark. It was just, I don't know, it was all over the place. But I was like low key bored. So anyway, after we leave the movie, he's like, you want to go get something to eat? And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. So we go to get something to eat. So I'm like, okay, this is a good opportunity because you really can't. Movie dates is whack. When you're meeting somebody, because you're in the dark and you're not talking, you're watching a movie, right? So that's why it's better to do stuff where you can like interact. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm like, I'm gonna get to know this person now because we get to talk. We're talking, and let me tell you something. If you want to know about somebody, ask them a couple of questions and then shut the fuck up, because let me tell you, it will come out. People cannot cold. Me, like, you can have a facade, you can have a lie, but the truth will come out. They say the truth will set you free. When they say the truth will set you free, I don't think it means like the truth will set you, like you personally. No, 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 no. The truth's gonna set that other person free. This dude started telling me, oh my God, when I talk about, he just recently got out of jail, right? He got his ankle bracelet off. He was showing me the ankle, where his ankle bracelet was. He was telling me how he was in a domestic violence class and ended up choking the instructor. Oh, so I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking to myself, this guy is crazy. He's crazy. So, handle with care. I'm like, wow. I said, oh, well, he must have really did something, horrible for you to, like, flash or whatever. I'm just, because I just wanted him to think like I'm on his side. Because I don't want him, no red flags, whatever. I still got to get this dude home. Now, but it's just so many red flags. It's just crazy. And then he was talking about his baby mamas. I said, baby mamas. So he had like all these baby mamas, all these different kids, and da-da-da-da. And, he was telling me about their relationship. And it was always like he was the victim. Like it was them, they're bad, da-da-da. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm just at a point like, let me just hurry up and eat my food, and get him home. So we eat our food, and he pays for the food, whatever. And then we're driving. So then as I'm taking him back home, he goes, hey, can you stop off somewhere right quick? I'm like, you want me to go? So he takes me, because like I was saying, when I picked him up his neighborhood, it was okay. It wasn't like a really beautiful neighborhood, just, manicure, nothing like that. It was all right. It's like, regular smelling neighborhood. But it was safe. I felt safe. We had to do a stop. Not one, not two, but 3 different stops. And we in the hood. Like, I didn't even know about these hoods. Like, in Sacramento, where I was from, like, I lived in a beautiful neighborhood, with trees and a ravine and walking. And, we were by the river and, celebrities and stuff like that over there. I mean, not celebrities, but, yeah, I used to run into celebrities all the time. Basketball players. Like, it was a nice neighborhood. That's where they hung out at. This was the straight hood. And let me tell you something. I was raised, everybody got hoods, and I've lived in the hood before, but it was my hood. And I don't know if I talked about this in like my apartment, like yeah, oh my God, I got to tell you about that. That's a whole nother, make a note. My first apartment was in the ghetto. It was in the hood. But anyway, so I'm not a stranger to being in the hood, right? I can mix and match anywhere. But this was really like scary, like low key scary. And here I am in a nice car with this guy that's like a pick-me. Not like a pick-me, but a pygmy. Like one of the, like those, like a tribe, like the small people. He tiny, he little. And so he's stopping. Why did first time he left me in the car by myself, and it was like low key, like suspects. I'm looking around, heads on a swivel, whatever, like the door. The second stop he had me go to, now I realize what's going on. He had me doing drug delivery. I'm doing drug deliveries. Oh my goodness. Everything was just coming together, and it was just like, you know what? I had to pray, God, please just get me home safe. So after the third one, that was the last one. And I take him home, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it was nice. So he kind of reaches over, and I said, I have a sore on my lip. I'm not sure. I don't want to. And he looked at me. He said, I don't see a sore. He wanted him a kiss. And you know what? Low-key, I don't even think he would have cared if I had a sore. I did not have a sore on my lip. But I don't even think he cared. That was a red flag. It was so many red flags. It was crazy, right? So anyway, I was like, yeah. So he's like, okay. So he gets out the car, leave. I go home. I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this is nuts, right? The next day, he calls me. I'm like, hello? And he goes, yeah, I really enjoyed my time with you yesterday. I bet you did. I bet you did. He was like, hey, I thought to myself, no, he said, I thought like maybe I could take you to this bar, right? And they got 50-cent wings. I said, what? He says 50-cent wings. I said, I'm good. I'm cool. He said, you cool? I said, yeah, I'm cool with the 50-cent wings. And I don't drink. I didn't drink. So, like, what's the point of me? And I told you, he ain't got no car. So you want me to go back to where you stay? Because it wasn't like it was super close. So you want me to go back to where you stay, pick you up, take you to this place for some 50-cent wings? So you can enjoy yourself and then Nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good. So I don't know what I said, but he must have busted out with. And maybe I said what I said. Like what I just said to you, the listener, I probably said that to him, because if you've listened to my podcast, you got 95% Kelly, you got 5% Kelly. 5% Kelly came out. He gonna say, what? You think you better than me? Yes, I do. And I told him, yes, I am better than you. And at the time, I didn't even have a job. Like I had my own business, right? And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, but even in that situation, breathe, child, breathe. Look, you have to put standards on yourself. You gotta have high standards, high standards, right? Because when you have high standards, you're just not settling. And I mean, the thing about it is, I've talked about the low expectations. So going out with this dude, whatever, that was, low expectations. I didn't really have no expectations going in there, right? But then once I've gotten that situation and seen what it was like, it doesn't meet my standards. You don't meet my standards. And it's not even about his size. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It was about him as, like, okay, first of all, yeah, it's just, you got too much. You got too much. And here I am, I'm trying to get it out the dirt, right? I'm working effortlessly to build myself up and to, get myself in a certain position, right? Staying booked and busy. So anyway, yeah, I'm better than you. I am. And you should be. And you know what? One thing that a friend told me that I always stay true to myself. You should always strive to be better, right? Always try to be better. The only person you're in competition is with yourself. You ain't in competition with nobody else, just yourself, right? And so every year you should be better than you was the year before, right? It could be anything. It could be the amount of money that you make. It could be where you live. It could be the people who you're around. It could be your health. Whatever it is, you should be better. You should not look like, well, this is 2026, right? You should not look back at 2025 and not be like, well, I'm going down. Well, the year just started, but you have to look, okay, do this. Look back at 2025, right? Because it says this year just started. Go back to 2024. Are you better in 2025 than you was in 2024? I can definitely say yes. Last year was a really good year for me, and I did improve from 2024 big time. I wasn't even working in 2024. Y'all probably thinking like, damn, your ass don't never work. If you listen to me, I'm always going through something. But at the end of the day, it's like I just don't settle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, my faith is really strong, and I just really put myself. I really put myself. And sometimes people think like, "Ooh, you conceited, you cocky, you conceited." No, I'm confident. I'm confident. I know my worth, and that's the thing about it. So when you feel like you can control me, or you feel like you can tell me that I'm not her, look, ma'am, look, sir, you got me twisted. You got me twisted like a pretzel, because I know, and I'm her, and you should be her, and you should be him. You him, and you her. Remember that. Remember that. So anytime that someone gets you in a situation where they're trying to make you feel like you less than what you are, you got to remember who you are, right? And who are you? What you got to think in your head. I'm better than you. Always remember that. Okay? So I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I always like to end, like I like to end. If no one's told you today that they love you, I love you. Mwah! Now go out there and be great. And remember, you're better than them. Bye.